people in the room like my wife Lily, my dear friend JJ, my homegirl Gwen. We got Mario over there, and you're here with us.
And what time is it, Phil?
I think, oh my goodness, it's 6 minutes after 1 o'clock, the bewitching hour on Phil Perry TV.
And y'all didn't know you're going to get that. So those of you who are lucky enough to be up at this time and tuned in.
Good morning, everybody.
You never know what you're going to get on internet television.
That's right.
That's why you should be aware.
That's right.
Be aware. So tonight, the whole idea of tonight's broadcast was to be an impromptu broadcast, but the title is Under the Hood at Phil Perry TV. Now, what are we talking about under the hood? It's a practical show tonight. And that's what I told Phil we were going to do. I said, we're going to go in to the channel. And this channel is actively managed by Phil and his wife Lillian. Now, the decorations and the day-to-day operation is Lillian. So you got to give credit where credit is due, because they are a team. They are a wonderful team, and again, I stress that because that's part of the beauty of this. Because without that, the channels wouldn't be the same. It doesn't make any difference whether they're quote unquote perfect or not. It's the fact that Phil and Lillian have their hands intimately involved in the minute. I do not run this channel. I don't do any of the stuff. I get the little notices and I just look at them float on by. You have a new video to approve.
Go for it.
Lillian approves them. That's not my job.
Pretty much. I haven't rejected anything yet.
Well, that's the lady who's in charge of it all. But she has issues ongoing with the channels. And part of what we're doing here, this is part of the ongoing series that was really the overall group of these videos is the Mario Fixes Shit series.
Right.
Now, but this is the Under the Hood at Phil Perry TV episode. So the idea is that my friends are so special and so interesting that we knew that you wanted to see how we go about doing things. So what you're going to see tonight is we're going to go address the concerns of Phil and Lillian with their own channel. Now, they're doing all the stuff that they could do themselves. This is where I come in and help them play Big Brother and fix the little things at the channel. But that's why we get to do it like that, because you get to see the process. And it's not scripted. So with the questions that Lillian has and that Phil have, that's real. Take a look at this screen, everybody. This is what we have logged into Phil Perry TV. Now this is www.philperry.tv, which actually takes you a site built at Ning, Ning.com. It is probably the premier place to build a website. It was created by Mark Anderson, the guy who created Netscape in the early days of the browsers. These are people who they became millionaires in the early days of the internet, and now they get to just be whiz people and fun things and all that. But this is why is it, you say, Mara, why is it the premier site? Because it has built-in social networking features. What do you mean, Mario? People can join your site and you run it, just like when you join Facebook, you get to run your version. It was years in the making, and I was a tester of social networking features. I used to have to plug it in custom. Mm-hmm. Then they built these sites that had it built, and that meant that Phil and Lillian could have a site where they could have members, and they get to control the minutia. So that was the good news, and the bad news was they had to control the minutia.
Yes.
But really,
It's a catch-22.
from where we started to now, it's not a hardship. It's actually I perceive it getting easier to format because we have a little better understanding based on our subscribers of what it is that they want to see and what they want to see specifically of me.
They want to see all of you.
You know.
Well, that's what's so
Every
interesting.
interview.
You get that real feedback, and that's what I consider priceless. That's the part that's the revolution. It's you direct to the consumer, and what I'm going to have you do is have more of a two-way. That's what the channel has been. And with Lillian, I said, Lillian, I remember I told you? I said, let it go 90 days and experiment and let it change
Yeah.
what it feels.
Yeah,
It's going to change.
It gives you such an opportunity to reach people that you can't turn your back on those kinds of opportunities. You really shouldn't.
No.
And I don't.
Well,
It's all about you, honey.
I know, but if it wasn't for you,
It's all about you.
if it wasn't for you though, this really wouldn't be.
No, if it wasn't for you, this really would.
Well, I would have made.
But we can just take it all the way up to the heavens. If it wasn't for the Lord,
I'm loving it.
on my side,
She said on her
where
side.
would I be?
Right.
Hallelujah.
Well, there it is,
But it
because
does give you a very
Proud just the two of us, you and I.
You and I.
Yeah.
So it's really
You
all
always
about
call
you.
me a
It's
troublemaker.
always about
See?
you. So, Phil, how do you manage all of those features? I mean, you know.
That's a good question, Lily. How do you manage? Since you want to throw me out.
hey, but check it out. The challenge really for Phil, ongoing as the artist, is we simplify this really is only to interact with his stuff from his phone. That's all. That's the only challenge he has. And I told him I don't want it to be more than that. I said, now, what will it be a little bit nicer for you if you interacted from an iPad? Okay,
Needs an iPad.
but I would say from the phone because that's still an additional thing to carry. And remember when I was testing this, and by the way, it was over 10 years ago when the phone was identified as the app, as the device that was going to be the centerpiece for. So they've been working on this for a while.
Yes.
So all of the applications that we have, you can interact with your phone. What I've done is already set up, and Gwen, that exists for you too when we talk about your channel, is set up ways for you to interact with the channels from your phone. For example, at the Phil Perry channel, there's a ticker that goes across the bottom. Well, Lillian is now, I noticed she's starting to understand that.
Really?
Because when you tweet into I set up a Twitter account so that when you tweet into this specific account, it goes into the ticker.
Oh, okay.
And it's
Oh,
clickable.
that was the ticker.
That's built into the feature set of your channel. Now, they didn't use it that way. What happened was they had a ticker, and they said you could put links in it. And then they said you could also put what they call an RSS feed. Don't want to get too technical. I build those things for you.
Which is news.
Right. I use the devices as a tester that generates a feed continually of what you do. It pulls the feed from your YouTube account and your Twitter. So every time Phil and them post a video, or when you favorite a video or things, that gets reflected in the ticker, or when you tweet into the account I set up.
Wow.
And that's set up for YouTube. Now, why is the importance? Because the idea was that whenever Phil wants to speak directly to his people, he should be able to post that directly from his phone. And he could do that both with video and with the ticker. All of these applications allow you to cut into your broadcast with your phone. Mm-hmm. You could actually interrupt what's playing.
Wow. That's awesome.
Okay, now the whole issue is knowing how to use it and getting used to the apps.
Right.
But I want you to know that it exists. It's not a feature that you pay extra for.
It's already there.
So all these are features that you merely have to use, okay? Mm-hmm. All right? But they exist. Now, for tonight, let me propose what was the first issue that I had, because you guys are going to have it too, but I'm just going to throw this out because then we can come to yours, decide what the order. What's the big issue for Phil Perry? And I want everybody to understand. It has to do with the breadth and depth of this man's work. He has over 9 hours of videos in his broadcast. If you take a look, this is back, we're looking right now at the inside of the Phil Perry broadcast machine.
Let me ask you something real quick, because we're doing this impromptu. Are you displaying
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing it because I don't see it.
You
'Cause
have
I'm
to
on-
use it from the switcher.
And I'm saying, what I'm seeing is that display right there, you Howard Hewitt. Ah, there you go. See, I want you guys to understand.
Yeah,
We
I
didn't
was
do- we didn't
showing
do-
Howard
I switched
Hewitt.
over and everybody was going, Howard
Yeah.
Hewitt, huh? You're not going to play
Well,
the music?
internet television.
That's why. So I
Is
got you.
alive and well here at Phil Perry TV.
It's a whole new standard here. Very forgiving. Very forgiving.
And you know, I enjoy the parts where we do mess up because I get to roll.
And
with
we do it
I
often.
get to roll with it.
We do.
The beauty of being able to mess up in this format
Yes.
is there are people that are watching this that are learning right along with us.
I love it, man.
I love it.
I love it. I love it. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's as close to interactive as it's going to get.
Yeah, definitely.
I love it too.
Yeah.
Well, take a look, Vic. Can I see the desktop now?
Bam.
Okay, now it's a little fuzzy, but let me just explain to what happened. We're in the inside of the Phil Perry channel. It allows now, this is what we call the broadcast machine. There's a lot of ways to access it, but basically what you're seeing here is this is what's playing in this window over here. And what we're about to do is look at the video playlist.
And you're going through live stream
Right.
instead of through the manage section on the Ning channel.
Right. That's because
Wise one.
okay, because let me tell you something. If Lillian just hit on a point, let me go back here for a second. Let's go back to the Phil Perry website. Here we are. And they get the benefit of seeing it there. Ooh, look at Lillian's got all her. See, look at this. She's got
look
that.
at that.
See, she has her down.
I've never done
See.
script before.
Big pimping. Gotta give you big pimping. That's big pimping.
Fabulous.
That's, you know, you get a hoodie award, okay?
So I love it. I love it. See, you see how she's doing stuff? She's experimenting with her channel. That's the way it should be. Now, what Lillian was saying is that what happens with everybody, and it's totally natural, because that's why it was a wonderful question. And I always have to remind you, everybody who gets something from me slowly comes to understand that they deal with actually multiple layers of complexity. Why? In my quest for excellence, I never like to do.
So nice you had to say it twice.
It's
Where's that 7
the
second delay?
broadcast coming through.
Right.
There you go.
There you go.
With the delay. See, you feel
You
sorry.
got it.
I messed up again. Now I forgot. Okay. Now I forgot my point.
That's all right. Go right
Where's
ahead.
that pop
Quest
shield
for
there
There it
for
is.
that
Excellent.
microphone?
There it
when you
is.
do it, by the way.
Quest for excellence. In your quest for excellence.
Oh man, you need a ginseng? What's up?
It's the ginkgo biloba.
Oh, ginkgo. I got you. You got to remember.
need it?
I know, because he was going through the past. You know what? Complexity.
Well, anyway,
Remember the
let's
layering
go
of
back.
things?
Right.
Layering,
Oh yeah.
Lexicado.
Okay, right. In my effort for excellence, what I do with all my friends is I don't have like a level B channel, or in other words, when I make the channel, I make them everyone all out with the best of my abilities at the time. I don't have two speeds. I never worked at developing that. I don't like second standards. It's just that I don't see a reason for it. I just give you the best. The issue for you is to understand that you're being given stuff that's going to challenge you, and that you're going to see things that you haven't heard from other people. Again, that has worked against me, because when people say, I've never heard of that.
Right.
See, but once you work with me enough, you realize that we're staying a certain level in front, and you get used to that level. What also comes to be you'll get used to is that you realize it's not magic, that you could actually stay 2 or 3 years behind the evolving trends and still be 3 to 4 years ahead of the public
Right.
Wow.
without even trying hard.
Wow.
In other words, just by talking and being around me, you're going to inherently sit in front of everybody, and then the minute you know it. See, I was talking Twitter to people 3 years before they ever heard of it. I don't know what your what?
Yes.
What? Because I tested the Twitter clones. Because I didn't just test Twitter. They didn't think Twitter. They didn't want the Twitter people to have control of what Twitter was becoming. So all the people who thought they knew stuff made their own Twitters, know that they did, and they still failed. And that was part of the understanding of the phenomena. Why, they couldn't understand, why would you like theirs better? Mine is better. Mine is better. You're supposed to like mine, but you're liking them. And I don't know why.
Well, Mario, we were, Phil was actually the first, I'd say the first artist of his genre with a website.
Oh, yeah.
And it was Lee Bailey who brought the idea
Well,
to me,
see,
and I
that's
just
something.
grabbed it right away.
Lee
you know?
Bailey is one of the people who got us into, when we first started getting access to events, it was because of Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually, and Lee, I had the pleasure of actually hooking Lee up with Harvey Mason to do a series of videos that you can get on YouTube. So that shows you how it's a small world, isn't it? But that's okay. But anyway, because that's what we love about this. But anyway, but back to the point. The whole reason we got to this is Lillian said, but you're over here dealing with this. Well, what you come to realize is that the Phil Perry channel is actually a website with a series of embedded widgets.
Yes.
A series, not just one. Because what did I do when I built it? The way I build is I go look at your stuff. I do an inventory of you. It's just my nature. So, but when I handed Phil Perry and Lillian their channel, I had already been to their Reverb Nation spot, gotten all those widgets, and plugged them into this.
RSS.
Yeah.
I did it just to show them what was possible. But also because, okay, imagine me building. What am I loving? Here's a man with tremendous amounts of material out there that I can use to build. I just look built.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And I started plugging all of that. It's really, really a lot of fun.
So that's why what Lillian said, what is this? The broadcast. That's because how do we define internet television? In the middle of this, you see this video player. Now let it play and I'll mute it. Okay, so that's the video player. That's actually coming from over here.
Okay,
Right.
yeah.
Okay?
And see,
It's-
I've never been on this.
this is where it's controlled from. And then it's embedded here. Okay? All right? So Lillian, what I had Lillian do is purchase a website. Okay?
Domain
Domain name.
Well, that was just a name, but she actually is
Hosting.
paying for the hosting.
Okay.
Right.
I am?
Yes, $25 a month or something.
Really?
Oh no, excuse me, I'm paying. That's another thing.
I was what? Do I
Don't
have
worry
a bill
about it.
coming? Another bill?
That's
Oh, Lord.
Surprise.
that's another thing. Don't worry about it.
Just a
Okay,
bill.
so $25 a month, and it gives you the surrounding stuff, and it's the best because that's the package on Ning that gives you the feature set.
Right.
So people, I say it's 25. So what I say now, what happens is I tell all my people, what we're going to do is going to shock you because it's going to be almost free. Not free, but it's going to be almost. And you're going to remember the things I tell you because most of them are going to range in the $25 to $50 a month. When Lillian first was exposed to this service, she was asking about the ads that pop up over the videos. And I said, yes, to remove that is about $400 a month.
But they don't pop up like that now. They usually there's a commercial and then there's the
Well-
segment or
Well, it's not, but just so know they are controlled.
they're
When you want to control the ads popping up, that's
to
where
pay.
you pay. So the business model, and remember, you're getting that to that information that you'll get used to that with me as a developer. It's given to us almost always free, and then you pay for extra service. And then with my expertise, you often don't need that.
Here.
And I told Lillian, don't buy that. I said, I've not bought it, and nor have I advised anyone to buy it. I've advised everybody to use the free setups because I think that's best for you until the time that it becomes worthy. And then we can discuss why it might be worthy. But that's not where I've told you to spend. And I also told her what I said. If you got $400 to spend a month, I got some other shit we can do.
I don't. But
That's what I
I'll
told
remember
her.
that.
Remember, I just told her. I said, that's what I'm saying. We could, because I'm saying there's stuff you could do with your channel, but take a look at this. Why? Because that's what we're going to deal with, that broadcast machine. But let's scroll down the page. Look what's here. This is what Lillian... Reverb Nation is a wonderful package. You never heard me exclude anything. Wonderful package.
yeah. Yeah.
So my thing, is I never say don't do this. No. What I attempt to do is integrate whatever you have. It's never exclusionary, and you could always have more. That's why it's never an issue. It wasn't a conflict at all that Phil had a Reverb Nation site. Nor did it present that to me in that way. It was merely quickly the integration
Yes.
of that and taking advantage of that integration,
Yeah.
which I did almost automatically.
Yeah.
So what did we add? The upcoming shows, the events, the bottomless playlist, okay, all these things.
Store.
Yeah. This is all
I'm
stuff
trying
Lily
to
is
do more with
controlling.
the members, though, the subscribers, because we have almost 600 now, and just Flossie is great. She, Michelle.
Well, and again, you're gaining members. Now, this is the part that I like. You get to challenge yourself with membership recruitment. And why? Because statistically, they join when you ask them to join.
Right.
And so for most people, you have to learn to start asking them.
Yes.
And then what else do you do? Well, again, that's because you have to first come to have a perceived value. This is why, because I have Phil here and he listens. Imagine artists that have no perceived value of their channel because they have no personal connection. See, now when you have that connection, Phil gets to think about using this as a vehicle to be more personal to his people in whatever way he chooses fit. Okay, and that's the ongoing thing because that's what they crave now. And to the extent he uses it as a marketing tool is to the extent that it becomes successful. The good news is that almost nothing I have ever done has been so fair in terms of the return. In other words, when you put in 3-4 hours of just work on your channel, if you get on there and interact for 3 or 4 hours, or you get return that amazes you for the time you put in. It's the fairest stuff I've ever done. In other words, I can say if you get in there and interact with people or go on just Facebook, and you should start by trying to get just your friends and family to go to your channel, and then get all your people to go to your channel and to join.
I was just thinking, what a wonderful tutorial this is.
This is awesome.
You know what I mean? Because it
Oh,
really
thank
is a tutorial. It really
It
does
really is.
break it down to whomever may be watching.
Well, thank you, Phil, because my goal was to help. See, I remember it was on script. My goal was to help explain it to you all
Right.
with the pure goal of so that you can use it in your own way. And I told Gwen we would do it in a way where we would help her use hers too. And I want the fans to know, look who cares, though. Look who cares. He cares. He's in the chair. Other artists don't run their stuff. Other artists don't run their stuff. Okay, he runs his stuff, so he deserves it. That's where the deserving comes into me.
Well, I don't know if I deserve it, but I sure am thankful to have it.
Well,
I am surely thankful to have it.
well, that's the idea. So,
There's a lot of content in your career.
well, that's where we're about to go to next because that's where the challenge. And I'm gonna tell you what I was thinking and why. But again, what I like is because Phil too. See, he's so cerebral that he kind of gets it. And the other thing that I was banking on is that you're supposed to be finicky about your stuff. That's why I do it this way, because you get to run your stuff. Like, don't it make a difference what Phil video plays first, second, or third? It
Yes.
makes a difference to me what order they play in.
Absolutely.
Always did, right? That's what DJs do. You can't just, random
Yeah.
stuff. So that's what Lillian wants to do, right? So that's what we're going to deal with today, okay? So now, over at the Phil Perry channel, I want you to understand something. Let's take a look. This is where what they call the playlist and his library. On this side is a list of the playlists. Now, when I click on one, it shows you all the videos in it on the right-hand side, okay? This is his current channel broadcast playlist, okay? I'm just going to scroll down the videos, okay, on one side now. You have to understand, right now, that playlist contains 62 clips for a total of 9 hours and 27 minutes.
Wow.
So now, What is the biggest issue as a curator? See, this is why I love to challenge you, because this is stuff I do. This is when I sit around and think Phil Perry or any artist. It's all about the presentation, right?
Right.
So I'm going, there's a playlist here that's 9 hours and 27 minutes long. That means that it's going to just go through the videos. Now, in some ways, that's not manageable. That's not manageable. Now, why do you say it's not manageable? Because, see, the way I think is I want certain videos to play repeatedly and other ones not so repeatedly. For example, let's say every hour I want a commercial, well, I want it to play of videos which is Phil announcement of what's going on this week. But I want that to play every hour. Okay? So what we actually do, and the challenge of this is we make a bunch of playlists, okay? And we make one that repeats every other playlist. And in that one that repeats every other playlist, we put the same repeating announcements. And then we take his other 9 hours of video and we separate that into roughly 10 1-hour playlists.
Wow.
And then you can move them around. Now, Lillian says, but Lillian will say, well, I don't understand. How do we change the order of the playlist? Well, watch this, you guys, as you can see it. All you do is drag. Like right now, the first video on the playlist, it says the Pack Stereo TV video loop. Okay? Now, that's the first video. And here's the second one. Now watch this.
Yep.
Right.
That's all you do to change the order.
Okay. See, I never went through the live stream.
No,
control, so
no.
this is
now
okay.
remember, I warned you that the Mario Hemsley sites have high levels of layering, of complexity.
Right.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm a beta tester for a lot of different things. So I import all of those things in. Okay? And that's why you're getting the most out of your buck. Because I've actually programmed in a high level of layering,
Right.
a complexity. But in ways that doesn't seem like that. Because it's actually simpler. All your
But I need a password to get into this.
and you actually probably, I think you already have it.
Okay.
Or
Is
you
it
I have
the
to, because
same
like
thing?
Gwen, I sent you one. You have the same. Yours is actually set up too. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go in before we leave. We're gonna go to your channel and take some of the videos out. And also, I told Gwen we will be able to add these kind of things to her channel. But what I wanted them to be aware of, take a look at these playlists that Phil has up here, you guys. They're on the left. This first one again is the current playlist, right? 9 hours and 27 minutes, 62 videos. Then he has a playlist called Latest Editions. Why did I make that? Because they're just always coming up with latest editions and they're going to get
Yeah.
lost in the playlist with 60. So I said, well, just now, how does that show up on Phil's channel? On Phil's channel, those playlists show up underneath as the video library. Here we're back at Phil's channel, right? See the video library? That's the current channel broadcast playlist with 62 items. So there's all his playlists right here. The same ones that we're experimenting now. As I change them, it changes here.
Right.
Okay? So now, what are we going to say again? Because again, in the interest of time, I see because we're going
Yes.
long. Okay, we're just going to lay out stuff, the work to be done. Okay? So what I'm going to tell Lillian and Phil is this. And give them the challenge in a different way. 9 hours, 27 minutes of videos. So actually, someone has to determine which videos are the most important. So if Phil was to tell me, Mario, okay, I know you're going to make 10 playlists. Or 12, 10 or 12. Excuse me. Okay. I'll tell you what I want in each playlist. If you actually go look, and ultimately I would teach Lillian how to do it because you only drag and drop and do
Yeah.
all that. Yeah. But yeah, that would totally, because it would take me minutes to reassemble the playlist as you would like. Right? If you actually could tell me, where's the work for Phil? He'd have to look at his playlist and say, he would look at it at the channel and say, wow, there's 62 things in this playlist, okay? 62 items. These are the ones that are most important.
Right.
So we put those in, the ones that are most important. Then we say, well, every hour we're going to play this commercial, this announcement, and whatever I'm posting from my phone,
Right.
which I'll do regularly. I'll do forever, every day or something. I'm on my way to rehearsal. I'll just say little funny things, and I'll do it, and you will stick it in there. So every hour, it plays his latest announcement, stuff from his phone, and then it goes through that playlist, and he can change them. Now, for you, Gwen, it won't be so many, because you only have those videos.
But potentially the variable is endless.
Right.
You know what I mean? As long as you're restocking footage.
Yeah.
Right. For you,
Yeah.
that's not even the issue. For other people, that is. For you, it's actually more the issue of the curator because you have so much stuff. Because creatively, you could say, here's Phil in specific jazz accompaniments that you may not be aware of that are known as Japanese imports.
Right.
Guest jazz performances. Remember, that's how I utilized them in my own tapes.
It just seems like the variables that having your own streaming show present is just the best marketing tool you could ever control.
At least you get to have, you're in
Set up
control,
the-
right? You get to experiment, and for the first time, you're directly controlling your career, these areas, and yeah. Now, the part that I think that's exciting and a positive. Now, there are those who are intimidated, right? But I'm with you. I think that's exciting. You're the best example of anyone we've ever worked with the potential to capitalize on it. Plus, the fact that you continually perform and you have the ability to generate additional revenue streams. See, Phil Perry, what do they set up to sell? Video downloads and music. So to the extent that Phil continually comes up with video content, it's only the licensing. That's why I was suggesting we get this licensing thing down pat. Because once we deal with the licensing, then imagine the Phil Perry video collections where it's $2 per video. See, he would have already made. See, I've already bought the DVDs. I have them on I had them on VHS, Laserdisc, DVD.
Yeah, but
Every
this
format.
YouTube, those are uploaded by fans. That's just
Right.
Can you?
No, but that's again. Okay, now again, these are the things to deal with, right? Even if the deal is to work out a deal where we get the licensing agreement. Say Phil doesn't own the rights to this video. Can we license the video so that we can package multiple Phil Perry collections? Can we do and even though I don't know, this is what I propose. I don't know that it can be done, but this is what I propose. Those of us in this realm want to pay for the right to sell it. By that I mean, see, traditionally it was done differently. If nowadays I could say, if you allow me in a non-exclusive way to sell this video, I can electronically pay you very fast.
Right.
There's the benefit. It's like KTEL Presents.
Right.
Okay? But if you let us do this, I can So can I be a businessman? What I'm hoping is that the artists become entrepreneurs, essentially. Most of the issue has to with legacy artists, I'll be honest. They're too old, and if they can't perform and they can't make product, what can we? That's a harder issue. Why are we blessed with Phil? Still performing and he's excellent. But there are artists out there that aren't excellent. So it's going to be harder for them to capitalize. Even though I was telling Phil, I said, what if we and our methodology could become the platform that helps those legacy artists? You know, I don't know what it would take. Again, it's the licensing, but
Catalog.
and the reperforming of those
catalog.
things. But we could try.
Yeah.
And certainly remember, this is the part I'm getting everybody up. The paid downloads. Amazon Unbox is there. iTunes, the selling of the video downloads and the ownership and building up of the catalog. And then the merchandising of that through your own channel. Okay. with Phil. Okay.
Well, he's either performing, or he wrote it, or both. So it seems like it would be easy to catalog because it's all.
Yeah, it's the issue again to me is because I know what I don't know, and that's the licensing issue. Now, but here's the things I do know: once you get started doing it, and everybody knows you, then things change, right? They know that you're doing this. It's the legitimate people you're coming at trying to do this. Then we could possibly do it for other people. Just like I talked to Phil, I said, recreating the setting in which the performances are recorded in a cost-effective way, and dealing with the quality issues inherent in that. But just dealing with it. I'm not suggesting what the outcome.
would be a
I'm just saying dealing with it
Right.
and
Right.
approaching it.
And through it.
Right, because I'm saying at least I can tell you here what you're going to have to do, and then at least you can hopefully we can see the point where the monetization. But still, the fact remains to the fan who can go to the Phil Perry channel and turn that on and get 9.5 hours. Can you think of the other people you wish you had that for? Sade is in my mind.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of you can think of them. And then when you start to assort them in the mixes, then watching those videos, and again, as the marketing vehicle for Phil again. So that's what I'm going to do later on. We're going to be fuzzing them tonight, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to go on and cut it up. All you have to do, Lillian and Phil, is start thinking in the most rudimentary way. Even if you don't know all of them, just come up with as many as you can. I made 5 lists of videos in each, and I added up the times, Mario. One list is 50 minutes, one's 48, and this one could be the first block. You can tell me like that. See what I'm saying? But then you can see it. Yeah. You can see it, and then I say, so what's your rotation? Because just like Phil could say, well, how about we do this? I'll just do one announcement block, and then out of those 9 hours of videos, I'm gonna pick 50 minutes, and the rest will be in the archive. Because remember, this is what your fans don't understand. You have to tell them. Lillian already said they don't get it. The videos are in the archive. You can go find the video you want. It's in there.
All you have to do is go.
Right, you have to go look. The fact that it's playing in that broadcast. See, remember, as a designer, the idea that you sit and wait for videos. We only give into that because people are used to it. The idea that you wait for a show to come on at 8 o'clock, that is so not necessary anymore. You can go get the videos whenever the hell you want.
Exactly.
Right. Freedom.
And watch them whenever you
Right.
get ready.
Right,
Yeah.
but the whole idea that the fans are used to this thing of the ongoing broadcasts.
Yeah. And
That's-
they say that we only see this situation, we never see anything else, and I guess they're tuning in at the same time every day.
Well, no, because the video playlist doesn't play at a set time; it just rotates. So that's why with this kind of a playlist, you can't tell anybody what time a video's coming up. And since Phil has 9.5 hours of videos, now there's probably some of the videos in there more than once, because if they had a separate title, we might not recognize it, right?
Well, it's more the rehearsals that they're saying that are repetitive.
See, and so remember, those can be taken out because here's what we did. They can be taken out of the broadcast channel because we already put them as a separate playlist.
Right.
Right? There's the birthday celebration.
Yeah.
Right.
See? And we did that so that you can take it out.
Okay.
There's the morning coffee segments. So that's why I said you can go and cut a lot of that out of the broadcast and leave it in an archive.
Right. You still haven't lost it. You can
You
go
haven't
and get
lost it,
whenever
no,
you're
and
ready.
that's the point. And the point is that now, so what's the journey? Just
And
make
that
it
way
up your
you can-
mind.
You can tailor make your streaming any way you want it to be,
Right,
Right.
and still keep it in the time confines of what you're trying to work with.
exactly.
Right.
Now, when you want something to play at a different time, at a specific time, then you're going to be in the area of development of which Pax Stereo is once again pioneering, because that's why we do a 24-hour broadcast. Remember, I adapted radio station software to play video. The same YouTube videos that we have here. Once I did that, it allowed for the videos for segments to play at certain times. And that's what we have been running now as a beta test for almost it's over 2 years, right, Vic?
Yeah.
It's over 2 years
At
we've been
least.
running that converted radio station software that plays video. So it allows for requests. It does all this radio station artificial intelligence. That's why I was applying the same software to the radio FM stuff, because I've already been
Yeah,
experimenting.
you make it all interactive.
Right.
Right.
So when the day that we want that, it's totally possible. It runs on any old laptop or any old computer. It doesn't need a fancy computer. The software that does it, I adapted the software. The top of the line radio station package was about $350, but you can use the light version, which is $50 a piece, about $100 investment.
And tell me, where else are you going to get information like this other than
Here we
Bill
go.
Perry
TV?
Exactly.
Everybody,
That's it.
all right.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Now, okay.
Scream.
See
Now,
what happens when you tape us and we're punch drunk?
No.
Yes.
You guys are in Happyville. That's where you're
How
at.
you doing? You're gonna do your channel too. See.
well, JJ, we know JJ is going to have something. I already told him. See,
He's got
again,
a lot.
remember the way I look at this. I look for creative persons who I can see potentially working with down the line, and I seek to empower them, and know that we can profit out of just the goodwill and the spreading of the information.
And listen.
And so that's
right,
where it
Nicole.
works. Now, here we're at Gwen's channel, because watch how fast I do this. Gwen said, I made Gwen the full broadcast, right? And I just go searching for videos that exist. This is what shocks people, Gwen. I always do this to them. Because when I make their channel, I go search and do a quick, and I spend,
Just
but
like
I make it, but they go, Mario, where'd you get all that? Oh, I haven't seen that video in 15 years. Where you doing? And I stock it with your stuff. So Gwen, her library, her broadcast playlist has 4 videos. Now there they are right there. Now watch how quickly we can remove and change these.
2 of them.
So you can tell me which what you want to take out. You have Jania.
Let's remove that.
Now watch this. See the little X?
Bam.
Gone.
And the car scene.
And where does that go?
The
In your
car-
archive or
Oh, that's in your
trash?
archives.
Gone.
Let's see where it is. The car scene. Mobile, that you have your see. Because remember, what I did is I made a few things for car scene.
What are the names?
Okay, you can now. Here's your playlist on the right hand side. So this first one is just the one with you and
I like that.
Frank and Gwen. This is indie art. This is Phil Perry co-host. Indie artist Frank McComb and Gwen Fox.
Well, let's leave that.
And that's parts 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So that's what's playing now. And then in your archive is the Phil Perry Meet the Band,
Yes.
the I Want You, and Perfect Island Night.
Okay, cool.
And that's all you have.
Okay.
And then in the future, for now, remember, and I'll show you how to do
have
it.
a concert.
But remember, for right now, just because you can get going, it takes me literally minutes to add videos to your channel. So while you're figuring out things, for even just for now, like tomorrow, all you have to do is say, Mario, send me you send me the link to the video at YouTube. As long as the video's at YouTube,
Okay.
I can pull it over instantly into your channel.
And when that occurs, we get to watch Gwen Fox TV.
That's right. And for those of you who want to see what it looks like,
I do.
there it is.
Wow.
Oh, and you can do all kinds of fun things with that.
Oh,
And then when
yeah.
you get your domain name and
I have it.
you'll- Oh,
And that's easy to do. So what I wanted everybody now, this is the basic
Helping patients
broadcast
know the
machine.
next step in care.
And I can't mute it, or can I? Yeah. This is the basic broadcast machine that if Gwen were to decide to have a website, a Ning site like your Ning site,
Yeah.
and then we would plug this into her Ning
Right.
site. I tell my other friends to get a Ning site, but they can plug this into wherever they want, wherever they have
Now,
their stuff.
can the live stream be subscriber based too, where only people who have? But
Yes,
that would
it's a
only-
paid feature.
Yes.
In other words, yes.
It
They have a
is.
bunch. What do you pay extra? You can guarantee your stream quality and security. See, this is why I say Watch and see what we do and what you run into. But remember, you can pay extra and guarantee more security. So they phrase it all these funny ways. Ensure the reliability of the stream. So if I had a client who necessarily had to do a big broadcast pay-per-view, I would advise him to pay for those extra things.
Right.
Remember, free, you get free, then you pay for all the extras. That's where they want to make their money from you. Okay? And as it relates to your channel. And basically, I mostly tell you how to avoid paying those things. And then we can debate their relative value.
Correct.
But I also will remind you that they're there for the time that you wish to use them. They are there. In other words, if Phil suddenly has an issue in Indonesia and says, I'm going to pay for this video, can it be streamed here? You know you can get that live stream guy on the phone and we'll talk to those people.
Right.
If you want to go that level.
Right.
Okay, to ensure the connectivity of different things. It all depends on what you want to pay for, right?
Right.
But know that they exist on that level. They also have a new account that allows certain new things. It's a compromise. Instead of the $400 a month, they have this new thing that's $45 a month. I am testing that and going to give you a report at sometime as to the relative value of it.
And
It
we
is.
anxiously
That's great.
await that report.
That's all I needed to know is, I mean, gosh, now we can start constructing.
And I'll
those,
start, and then you can
playlists.
change so you can think what you want.
Yeah.
See, if you told me, say, well, now I looked at the 9.5 hours, these are the videos I think are most important.
Yeah.
And but remember, and you can change your mind.
And that's a beautiful thing.
And you don't have to be right.
No.
It could be this way this month, this week. That's why my thing is that if Phil's suddenly somewhere and says, no, I want these videos now. Let's hit him with what I'm doing today. Well, let's hit him with what you're doing today. And remember, I wanted you to see the amount of time it takes me so we learn to work in the communication to
Right.
make it happen. If you know clearly, I can do it in minutes.
Right. All you got to do is make up
Right.
your mind what you want.
What you want. Now, what is the biggest challenge for Phil? To get the right phone that he most likes and learn to work that phone, both tweeting into different accounts, his personal.
Now you're bordering on
channel.
the impossible.
What would you suggest? I mean, he has a 3G iPhone.
That's it.
And
He just asked, you know what? Maybe the show where we deal with the phone,
I think he can.
maybe
upgrade
that's a
soon.
show.
No, but it is a show.
And we show Phil how to deal with the phone on the show, and he experiments. Because all we want him to do is post videos of himself. You know, here I am, I'm about to go on stage. How do I look? See, they can do nonsense. We love
I'm on
it.
the porch.
We love it. Just like I got a list of nonsense things that everybody loves. Can he get out his old photo album and show you the photo and talk about it? Would you watch Sade do it? I love to talk about Sade. Would you watch? I would watch
Sade.
prom photos.
Yeah.
I will look at them. I will. Can I see that shit? Excuse me. But I'm saying with Phil, you know, the old pictures, literally, he can break out the scrapbook and tell the stories and weave it, and then think about how the fabric of that fits within his channel.
Right.
Yep.
That's, again, like I said, that's why I said I want those things, and those are the ones that are not work. The old photo albums, because it's really getting out the photos and sorting them.
Wouldn't that in the conventional television world? Wouldn't that be formatting?
Formatting.
You would know
your
about
program.
Program
Wouldn't
Yeah.
that be formatting, JJ?
Formatting.
Yeah.
If I'm
Program
if
format.
I'm taking existing video file and putting it in a particular order, isn't that formatting?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
And now they have some new terms about the whole thing of how you collect and present things like curator.
Right.
Because what they say, they use all these fancy words, but what they basically are saying, JJ, is that the people who sort through all the videos and put them in the order to present what we would call DJing in the old days.
Our
Those
curators.
are curators, and they're the valuable persons because there's such a mishmash of videos out there that people want you to say this is jazz oldies or something. Now
Yeah.
imagine the value of a playlist that is Phil Perry's playlist. See, what's so wonderful about the folks like Phil is they can go, here are my favorite jazz videos. Other people, they don't care.
Right.
But for Phil, what are your favorite jazz videos?
Right.
What are your favorite like today we were kicking it, I was playing falsetto tracks, right? We were talking about some of the cold falsetto performances in history.
Yeah.
People gonna care what he says. And the fact that can be presented, that's the part that, like I said, the good news is that all this is small amounts of work,
Yeah.
but it actually presents well as a show. Right. And they're going to care about your
And
opinion.
it's also historical.
Exactly.
And it's educational and it's informative.
And you're actually the guy because you know all that, see, and you care.
Yes.
So you presenting the story of how it occurred is totally relevant. And your perspectives, and to the degree that you want to expose or talk about controversy,
Right.
is the degree to which it's relevant. Because maybe it leads to the Phil Perry book,
Right?
which has an audio book, by the way.
Coffee table
CD,
book.
DVD. Okay?
Photo journal.
All right.
You can go on and on.
All right. So, okay, I think we're done, everybody.
Yeah.
We're going to be on the show tomorrow live, 10 a.m., morning coffee. You know, to the extent that they can make it, we're going to try to shake them into life and get them here on the show. We're going to have a great morning coffee show tomorrow. We have guests. And I don't know if it's Niles or Nils. Is it Nils or Niles?
It's Nils.
Nils.
I
Nils
believe. But you know there are
Gipner.
two Nils that play guitar from Germany. And I was thinking, oh gosh, no, this is the Nils that Phil, worked with. He did this.
Well, we got the stuff. We got it plugged in. We're going to be able to talk about that tomorrow. We also have Howard Hewitt
Yes.
Yes.
coming
All right.
in.
That's
Y'all
going to
know
be fun.
Howie.
That'll be fun. We have a guest who's coming in to watch, percussionist Eric McCain, who actually has played with Nils
Yes, yeah.
before
Eric
too.
McCain.
He's actually coming in with another person to actually observe
Okay.
the process of what we do. And we told him, I said, well, you just happen to pick the right day because Phil Perry's going to be here.
Can I take time now
As
to
long
thank
as he's
everybody
cool.
that was watching
Absolutely.
There
This-
he is.
for their diligence and just sharing their time watching us and seeing us grow and maybe getting inspired to do something along these lines for themselves. Thanks for hanging in here with us. We're in a development stage, and it's a lot of fun. I'm kind of like the fish that's out of water. I'm used to having a microphone in front of me, but I'm much more comfortable singing in front of it than speaking in front of it. And I just want to thank people for giving me a chance to show them a little more than what they're going to hear when they listen to the music. That's all.
That's the way
That
to
was
do
so
it.
sweet.
That's the way to do it, baby.
Precious.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. We're going to be tuning out. Remember to be here in the morning.
Yes.
All right, Vic?
In about 4.5 more hours,
Yeah.
we're going to be right back here
That's right.
On the
Rested.
on the Phil Perry TV show.
Oh, boy.
Come back.
All of them not going to wake up tomorrow because they all ate chicken. They all had
we
problems.
And there's more chicken to eat. There's more chicken in the kitchen that hasn't been eaten.
Ah, the whistling.
I know, he's got it.
We were whistling on the way in. Yeah, we were whistling on the way
I
in.
got to give you guys props. You got to give it to you.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are going to regret it.
Uh-oh.
Watch what
What are you going to
happens
do now?
tomorrow. Watch what happens.
Oh, boy.
You're trying to look at me. You're trying to surprise him with
Start
some music.
whistling again.
Yeah, I know what he's doing. I know what he's doing. There you go.
We'll see you later, you guys. Thank you now.
I know it's hard to believe, babe, how this could all be pretend. Oh, you think that love is warm, but then it comes undone, and all you have are memories of pain. So you see you won't fall again, babe. With love you won't be concerned. you, baby. And I can only hope and pray you understand. The girl is something special, it's not a question, not just some suggestion, no. It's the reason that I care so much. This girl is something special, not just some suggestion, no. Girl, you're something special, something special. It's the reason that I care so much. This girl, you're something special. You can't keep running away, baby. No, no, no. 'Cause there ain't nowhere you could ever truly hide. Would you rather live pretending, believing you can win, and so you end up crying every single night? When will you open up your eyes, pretty baby? When will you let go of your oh so foolish pride? Can be afraid to die. Just take a chance and try, 'cause all we have is what we are inside. Life is gonna test you, baby, and people are gonna stress you, baby. And I just only hope and pray you understand. The girl is something special, it's not a question, not just some suggestion, no. It's the reason that I care so much. This girl is something special, not just some suggestion, no. Girl, you're something special, something special. It's the reason that I care so much. This girl, you're something special. Life is gonna test you, baby, and people are gonna stress you, baby. And I just only hope and pray you understand. The girl, you're something special, it's not a question, not just some suggestion, no. It's the reason that I care so much. Life is gonna test you, baby, and people are gonna stress you, baby. And I just only hope and pray you understand. The girl is something special, it's not a question, not just some suggestion, no. It's the reason that I care so much. This girl is something special, not just some suggestion, no. Girl, you're something special, something special. It's the reason that I care so much. This girl is something special. Not just some suggestion, no. Girl, you're something special. It's the reason that I care so much. Girl, you're something special. Something special. Something special. Girl, you're something special. Something special. Something special. Girl, you're something special. Something special. Something special. It's the reason that I care so much. Something special. Girl, you're something special.